Okay, TNA Victory Road 2024 just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago or so. Overall, mostly fun show in this case. I think it was definitely a step up from the last TNA show I did. I mean, the last few TNA shows I've done, if you think about it. There was some news going into the show. Alicia Edwards is still in the concussion protocol, and on Explosion, the pre-tape show they do on the weekends, she selected Tasha Steelz to be her replacement. So when we get to that match, we'll get to it. We did have two kickoff show matches. The first was Leon Slater versus Kushida. There was a weird thing that the show opened up with a big shot inside the production truck for some reason. I mean, we got to see Josh Matthews again for the first time in a few years, but that was about it. Early on, Kushida put Leon Slater in a kind of knee bar-like hold. He used his knees, he sort of figure forward his knees to get into this maneuver. Slater blocked a hoverboard lock and hit an enziguri. Kushida knocked Slater off the top rope, flew to the outside of the ring with a swanton bomb. Slater hit a big drop kick into the corner. Kushida countered a Blue Thunder bomb into a hoverboard lock. And then Kushida hit a Spanish fly into a cross arm breaker, and Slater eventually tapped out. Not a terrible match. Definitely a cool finish. Guys put on some good, decent work, but you know, I don't even think this qualifies as a kickoff show match. This is probably just a weekly TV match. I don't know why it needed to be on a kickoff show to a pay-per-view or a premium live event. After that, we had a tag match that was Steve Maclin and Eric Young taking on Hammerstone and Jake Something. Again, we had a weird production problem where as Hammerstone and Something are on their way to the ring, and Jade Chung, the ring announcer, is talking about Hammerstone, they cut to her for some reason. I guess storyline-wise, if you want to explain this, Maclin came to Young's aid during a beatdown by Jake Something. Maclin had also been feuding with Hammerstone. So yeah, now we got a tag match. Right off the bat, all four men were brawling in the ring. Eventually, it got down to two again when Young got tossed out of the ring by Something, who pursued him. Maclin basically tricked Jake Something into colliding with Hammerstone. Something blindsided Maclin and tossed him outside of the ring. Maclin hit the Busaiku knee, tagged in Young. Young hit Something with a gut-wrench powerbomb. They tried to go for a top rope maneuver, but Something tripped up Eric Young on the top before the elbow drop. They hit a big maneuver. Maclin hit his spear into the corner. I can't remember what it's called now. I want to say it's the Deadeye, but I think that might be confusing with Hangman Page. Maclin hit his Tree of Woe spear. That's where the elbow drop got broken up. Another big schmoz kind of broke out, and Jake Something hit Eric Young with the Enter the Void for the 3 count of victory. I'd say this was definitely more a kickoff show match, where at least there was a little bit of a story going into it. They at least put on a good show, I think. Good, solid tag match. There were a lot of tag matches on this show, but this one, I definitely think they started to build something here. In fact, later on in the show, they went backstage and they had Hammerstone and Jake Something basically talk to the camera, and now it's like, yeah, we're coming for the tag team championships soon. So again, for a tag division, I think that is kind of lacking recently. I do think this could be good. It's something new. It could maybe be something to reinvigorate things. Moving on to the show proper, we open up with another tag match. The Hardys versus First Class. That's Casey Navarro and AJ Francis. Navarro did the Hardy taunt, the boom, 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 boom. After shrugging off some moves from Jeff, the Hardys immediately came back, hit Poetry in Motion and a tilt-a-whirl slam on him. Matt hit a bionic elbow off the second rope. It was then that Francis got a cheap shot on Matt. Francis came in and hit a side slam and off an avalanche. Matt avoided a swanton from Francis. Jeff got the hot tag. Unfortunately, the process wanted taking up the rafts, and Francis hit the world's strongest slam on Jeff. Matt broke up the pinfall, however, and the Hardys hit a superplex, and Navarro hit a frog splash after that to break up that pin. The Hardys eventually hit the Twist of Hate on, I believe it was Francis, and then the Twist of Fate, and then a neck breaker, and then the Swanton for the 3 count of the victory. Hardys win. I guess technically they're supposed to be the #1 contenders getting the title shot at Bound for Glory. I'm not sure. This was an okay match, not great. Like I said, I do kind of want First Class to, again, the tag team division in TNA is so just retready, and I would like some new lifeblood in there. Again, not the biggest First Class fan, but again, it is a little bit new, so maybe you could do something a bit more with it. But yeah, I don't think this was a great match. After that, our next match was the X Division Championship match, Zachary Wentz versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Also, funny thing, Wentz is doing his stuff with NXT now as well, where the Rascals had their NXT tag team title opportunity wrecked by Wes Lee. There's going to be a street fight between Lee and Wentz on the CW premiere of NXT in a few weeks. There was some sportsmanship at the beginning with a nice handshake. Bailey hit a big kick after a leapfrog. Wentz basically demanded that Bailey slap him, and then that kind of spurred him into taking Bailey down with a bunch of fists. Eventually, Bailey returned the favor at some point. Bailey bounced Wentz off the apron, hit his triangle moonsault. Bailey came back, hit a draping meteor, and locked on a knee bar. Wentz came back, hit a flapjack and a German suplex. At this point, Bailey came back, hit an offside moonsault. Wentz hit a whisper to the wind to the outside of the ring. Wentz hit a snapmare driver on the ramp. Bailey hit his flipping meteor super kick. He hit his tornado kick, but Wentz fought out of that. Hit kind of a flipping DDT maneuver. Wentz countered another mover into a snapmare driver, but then he went for his UFO cutter, and Bailey countered that into the flamingo driver to get the 3 count of the victory. So, yeah, Zach Wentz winning the championship last month really doesn't make much sense now, does it? I mean, if you're just going to poke it right back to Bailey, then why have Wentz win it? I mean, I guess he got to defend it once on NXT, and that's about it. But again, you could have had Mike Bailey defend it on NXT. It just... yeah, it just makes last month's events look really hollow. And this is unfortunately where we hit a bit of a down point in the show, not for the reasons you would think. Our next match was supposed to be the tag match between Rhino and PCO versus Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander. If you don't know, they're doing the storyline of DeLander and PCO being a couple, being married. However, because Cardona still owns her contract, he can demand her to be in a match where she has to face her husband. However, that does not happen. DeLander comes down. She's wearing a t-shirt over her gear. She's got a bandana on, and she's looking just really upset. She asks for the microphone. She says, look, I'm tired of you two guys fighting. She's tired of PCO and Matt Cardona fighting. She's always said Matt Cardona is her friend and she'll always be there for him. But she actually cannot compete because she is in desperate need of neck surgery, and she's known that for a while. This has been confirmed. She had a post on social media and said, yes, this is real. She needs surgery. She could not get cleared to compete, so there wouldn't be a match. She said, look, fix this up, move on. She's not retiring. She will be back. She and PCO decided to leave together. Rhino and Cardona stood in the ring. Rhino started to head out. Cardona used the ring ropes, did a low blow, and then hit radio silence, and that was it. At least you could do that. Have Cardona cover him and demand a 3 count or something. Just I get that part of the reason why this is being done is I believe Cardona himself is not yet medically cleared to be in the ring after he tore his tricep. But yeah, obviously it's unfortunate. You know, wish the best for Septilander to hopefully do well and get back soon. But not too soon. Always wait this out. Don't rush things. You know, wait until everything's good and ready. Okay, our next match is the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. Masha Slamovich and Tasha Steelz, filling in for Alicia Edwards, versus the team of Jody Threat and Danny Luna Spitfire. Spitfire have to break up if they don't win. Obviously, again, as I said, Alicia Edwards is in concussion protocol, so Steelz is replacing her. Right off the bat, Threat hits Slamovich with an exploder suplex. Luna hits a body slam Jody Threat onto Masha Slamovich. Steelz broke up a pin, a double suplex attempt, and that allowed Slamovich to hit Threat with a big brainbuster. Steelz hit a nice running kick, locked on a nice deep camel clutch. Threat hit a tornado DDT, tagged in Luna. Luna hit a fallaway slam, sending Slamovich into Tasha Steelz. Steelz then broke up a finishing maneuver from Spitfire, and the tag champion for this scenario hit a super kick into a German suplex. Luna broke up the pin. Phone goes off. Luna broke up the pin by countering Tasha Steelz trying to hit her with a sliced bread, sending her into Masha Slamovich. Spitfire then hit the pressure drop for the 3 count and the victory. Not entirely surprising. This was actually a really fun match, really well done. Probably I would say probably the best tag match of the night. There were a lot of tag matches on this show for some reason. And yeah, it was a really fun match. I thought they did things really well. They played everything right. I think obviously Spitfire probably had to win, and this way you could continue the story as to what they're doing here. But in case you're wondering what happened afterwards, Alicia Edwards screamed at Slamovich, attacked her, slapped her. Slamovich grabbed Alicia's hand, and immediately Tasha Steelz got in the ring and hit her cutter on Slamovich. So yeah, it seems that now she has joined the system. Probably gonna have to wait for Alicia Edwards to get cleared before they can go after the tag champs again. But still, yeah, I guess this is going to plant the seeds for when Killer Kelly. If you don't remember, months ago, MK Ultra, the tag team of Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, seemed to suddenly lose the tag titles to Spitfire in a very rapid fashion. And it didn't quite make sense at the time. However, it's I guess I don't know when it was revealed, but Killer Kelly is pregnant. So yeah, maybe that's why it ended so quickly. Yeah, so I believe when her maternity leave's over, they can come back and have a good proper feud and do something there. Although again, it's the Knockouts tag division is also severely lacking. Giselle Shaw's left. Her group kind of broke up. I don't know what happened to Savannah Evans. Like I said, Decay is apparently no more. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, Decay isn't around. What were Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee called? And you would know them as the Iconics, the iconic duo, I think. They're not there anymore. They're technically retired. Both women have had kids. So, yeah. Again, they're going to have to start beefing that back up again. And again, with Spitfire having the championships right now, maybe they can start to do that a little more. I do think again, much like the men's tag team division, that's going to definitely need some beefing up. After that, we had Josh Alexander taking on Joe Hendry. Alexander taunted Joe Hendry as he put him in a series of headlocks. Hendry eventually fought out and hit a big hip toss. Hendry then hit a nice delayed suplex. Alexander rolled out of the ring and hit a sunset flip into an ankle lock. Hendry fought out of a guillotine choke and then another delayed suplex. Alexander rolled out of the ring to avoid getting hit with a standing ovation. Hendry hit a trust fall into the ring barricade. Hendry then hit a fall-away slam off the second rope. Alexander then caught Hendry and put him in an ankle lock. Hendry shrugged off some chops from, a couple of forearm shots from Josh Alexander. Hip tossed him into the turnbuckle. Tried to put him in an ankle lock, or inadvertently took the ref out in the process. That enabled Alexander to hit Hendry with a low blow. He signaled for the C4 spike, however, Hendry then got up and revealed he had been wearing protection the whole time. You think Alexander would have noticed that, but yeah, he no-sold the low blow. I think Hendry hit a low blow of his own, hit a standing ovation, put Alexander in the ankle lock, so Alexander tapped out to his own finishing hold. So yeah, maybe now Alexander will take Joe Hendry a tiny bit more seriously. This was a really good match. Again, really solid, really well done. It told a great story. I did honestly think maybe Alexander was going to win this. He's not. I don't think he's going to be contending for championships anymore. He got his contract extended by 1 year. They had an option to do that, but he already said he was not interested in re-signing with the company after that. So, yeah, I don't see them putting a championship on him anytime soon. So, again, if you can use him to build up a new star, that's probably what you're going to need to do. After that, we have the Tag Team Championship match, the Men's Tag Team Championship match, between ABC and the System of Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. Chris Bay had gotten attacked on Impact by First Class. He was selling a rib injury. So right off the bat, Bay hit Myers with a big drop kick, but then sold his rib injury. Austin then caught Myers in an arm drag. Ace Austin tagged in, hit a nice arm drag on Brian Myers. Eddie Edwards then tripped Austin out of the ring, broke up the Sword of Glory, which further exacerbated Bay's ring injury. Myers hit a spear on Bay. They just wailed on Bay. Eventually, Bay tried to get in position for a tag, but then Edwards pulled Ace Austin off the ring apron, and Austin seemed to tweak his ankle in the process. Again, they broke up a possible hot tag. Eventually, Ace Austin tagged in. He had a... Oh boy, let me think here, I lost my spot. He broke up a Blue Thunder Bomb in the process. System eventually broke up the 1-2 Sweet, and Eddie Edwards hit the Blue Thunder Bomb. System then hit Bay with a spear in the Boston Knee Party for the 3 count and victory. Again, it's like System are tag team champions again. Hopefully they don't drop it back to ABC. Like, no more ABC, no more Rascals for a while. Just, they can still have tag matches. Just, they don't need to be fighting for the championship all the time. Again, like, this is the problem with the TNA tag division. It's just so retready. It's like, we went from Austin Bay Club, we went to the System from Austin Bay Club, from the System from Austin Bay Club. I think the Rascals may have also been champions at one point in there. I cannot remember. Were the Motor City Machine Guns champions? Exactly. Like, it's just, again, let's pump up some lifeblood. Let's push Jake Something and Alexander Hammerstone as a tag team. Let's do something with, again, First Class. Again, not a huge fan of them, but they do have some charisma, and I do think they could be capable of something. Let's push them in that manner, and let's pump this up a bit more, because it really needs it. And then leads into our next match, which is the Knockouts Championship match, Jordan Grace versus Wendy Chu of NXT. Grace hit a gut wrench to Chu right off the bat, who then rolled outside of the ring and grabbed her pillow to try to attack Grace. Grace's grandmother pulled it away. She did hit Grace with a DDT on the outside, though. Wendy Chu hit her leg-based neck crank. Grace hit a nice European uppercut while catching Chu on the top rope. Fortunately, Chu caught her in a sleeper. Grace fought out of it, hit a sort of just body slam off of the top rope. She then caught Chu with a spinning back fist and a vertebreaker. Chu then came back in a belly-to-belly superplex and a brain buster. She locked on her sleeper again, but Grace fought of it. Hit a powered bomb and a juggernaut driver for the 3 count of the victory. Decent little match. Have to admit, Wendy Chu is someone I'm not entirely familiar with. She was an NXT 2.0. Well, she was in NXT before the 2.0 thing. She was the dragon lady who was guiding Xia Zhao, or Xia Li. Xia Zhao is coming to Impact. Yeah, the former Xia. She was Xia Li in NXT, but then that got scuttled, and she got repackaged in a manner that was supposed to be a knockoff of Orange Cassidy, I think, in the idea that this was when Vince was taking over that part, and he apparently did not understand what they said when they said Orange Cassidy was lazy. They apparently thought he meant like narcoleptic. Yeah, like I never got, like, nothing against Wendy. I think she can be, she seems like a good worker, but yeah, I never really got that gimmick, and now she's like possessed again, but she's still doing the sleeping gimmick. I'm just kind of confused. After that, Rosemary, who had been working with Wendy Chu, came out and attacked Jordan Grace again. Chu joined in. I don't know what this means, because I do think they're trying to also maybe build up the idea of, say, Ariana Grace challenging for the Knockouts Championship. There was actually a nice little backstage segment, because if you don't know, Ariana Grace of NXT is the daughter of Anthony Corelli, the former Santino Marella, who is now like this on-air authority figure in TNA. So yeah, they did without alluding to them actually being father and daughter. He's like, hey, it's so good to see you. You're the NXT liaison. He's like, yes, I'm trying to do things on my own. I don't really want to come ask for favors, but maybe I might have to do that soon. And that was kind of how that ended. And that leads us into our main event, the TNA World Championship match between Nick Nemeth and Moose. Frankie Kazarian came down on the ringside to join the announce team. He ran down both men very early on, but then he also spoke highly of them at some points too. Moose immediately drove Nemeth in the corner. They got to the outside. He had a choke bomb off the rope. He had a nice back body. Nemeth came back at a back body drop on the ramp. Moose hit a pump kick on the outside. He hit an apron power bomb. Nemeth came back, hit a German suplex on the outside of the ring, but Moose came back and power bombed him through a table. Nemeth dodged a spear and hit a super kick and a famouser. It's at this point that Alicia Edwards and JDC hit the ring, and just as Nemeth was going for a top rope elbow drop, Moose countered a danger zone with a spear. Edwards tried to slide the belt in the ring while JDC distracted the ref. But then Mike Santana came and pulled the belt away. He fought JDC up the ramp to get him out of the ring. Nemeth hit the danger zone, but only got a 2 count. Moose hits, I think it was a superplex, that's what I'm thinking of. But Nemeth countered a powerbomb into another famouser. This is when Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers hit the ring, pulled the ref out. The ref was going to DQ it. Nemeth told him not to do that. He doesn't want to win that way. He wants to win the right way. As this happened, John Layfield came out of the crowd and attacked Myers and Edwards. He hit Edwards with the lariat, or the clothesline from hell. Moose distracted Nemeth just enough for Moose to hit a discus lariat and a spear, but only get a 2 count. Nemeth then came back, hit his own lariat, super kick, and the danger zone for the 3 count and the victory. Again, another really fun match. They didn't bog it down with all the run-ins. It didn't have the problem the last main event with Nick Nemeth had, where it just dragged and dragged and dragged. The action was up. They kept the pace up in this. I think the run-ins were timed just right. Everything was kind of fun. If I have any qualms, it's that, again, it just kind of ended. We didn't get any type of tease for something afterwards. Again, Kazarian seemed to indicate that he was going to get the title shot at Bound for Glory. What about Joe Hendry? Because they're obviously building up something between Nemeth and Layfield, JBL. But I'm not entirely sure what that is, and I do think eventually that's going to have to be a heel turn, because I do think they're going to want to try to strike while the iron's hot and get the championship onto Joe Hendry, whether that's at Bound for Glory or maybe a little bit later. Again, Hendry's contract is expiring, so if you want to do that, you're probably going to want to strike now, so you can maybe keep him around for a little bit longer and then have him drop it to someone else. But yeah, like, that's, I think, something that needs to maybe be done soon if you're going to do that. But again, like, you have Kaz claiming he wants a shot. MacLeod, I think, is still someone who should probably be up there eventually in the main event scene again. I do think I like, not Eric Young. I think we need to get some of the long-term guys. Like, I don't want to get rid of them. They can still be around, but, I don't want to just constantly have, here's Kazarian getting it. Here's Eric Young getting another title shot. Here's Moose getting another title shot. Let's bring in some of these other guys up the card a little bit and see if we can build some more interest with them. Like I said, though, this was definitely a fun match. This made me a lot more comfortable with the idea of Nick Nemeth and some of these guys being in NXT. Like I said, overall, really good show. I would say, obviously, the low point of the night was the PCO Cardona Step to Lander thing, but that's obviously something that's way out of everyone's hands. You can't really fault that. Like I said, the first kickoff show match between Kushida and Leon Slater, well, not necessarily bad, it really didn't have any weight to it at all. I mean, if you're going to build Kushida, that's fine. But then it's like you've been building Kushida for the last year, and again, you seem to also be more interested in pushing Mike Bailey, even though you had him lose the belt. Yeah, that's just kind of the confusing thing. And again, I think there were a few too many tag team matches on the show. I mean, had the that Cardona PCO thing gone down, it too would have been a tag match, which means you would have had 4 tag matches on PLE, which that's just a little too much. Like, I think we need to, like, I want some tag team matches, but I don't want too many. Like, 2 tag team matches would be fine. If you want to have another X Division thing, that's fine. But yeah, like, work these in a little bit better. Like, tell stories and not just slap these together and try to give guys big paydays that way. It never works. It's always a kind of a turnoff. But like I said, overall, this was a really enjoyable show. This was definitely the best TNA show this year, outside of Hard to Kill. Yeah, that first one was really good too, with the first Hammerstone Josh Alexander match. That was really good, but this was definitely a good solid B. Like I said, there were too many problems I had that keep me from giving a full A, but B is a good solid show, entertaining, especially if you're a TNA fan. It does have me intrigued for the future. I am not going to be covering Bound for Glory. That's a show you have to pay extra for, so I'm not doing that. Okay, so the next video is going to be the week 4 predictions, football. Then it's going to be the random trade review on Kingsway West. Then obviously the week's 5 predictions. I'm a little off here. The week 5 predictions video, and then WWE Bad Blood is the next wrestling show. I'm still hoping to maybe do Wrestle Dream. If not, we're probably going to have to push the AEW show back to maybe December. I want to do at least one AEW show this year, but again, finances have just been hard. I'll probably have to get into it more on Monday, because if you haven't realized, Monday marks a year since I broke my leg. This whole channel got kind of thrown into a bit of chaos for a few months. I'm okay, but I'll have to get into more maybe in a post on Monday, trying to sort this out. I'll be fine. See you all next time.
Hey guys, remember you can help me maintain and possibly even expand my professional wrestling coverage by supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/sleepytime4cat productions. Also, remember to like the video, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.